You've been misled from the very beginning. Since childhood, everything you've absorbed from your guardians, your instructors, the entertainment industry, and the world around you has subtly conditioned you to remain powerless, financially dependent, and trapped in mediocrity. And the most dangerous part? You're completely unaware it's happening. Every idle moment you spend mindlessly scrolling or procrastinating, someone else is out there seizing the opportunities that could have been yours. You wonder why you're stuck in the same place, feeling directionless, overwhelmed, or like something vital is missing. Here's your reality check. Right now, in this instant, you're standing at a crossroads. You can either remain exactly where you are, repeating the same cycle, or finally break out of the invisible prison you were born into. But let me make something absolutely undeniable. If you keep looking the other way, pretending nothing's wrong, brushing this truth aside, then you're actively choosing failure. And those who choose failure get nothing. Hear this closely because this might be the only message that could truly change your life. Do you want to understand why you're not thriving, why you're not wealthy, respected, or living life on your terms? It's not due to some curse or bad hand you were dealt. It's because your entire mindset has been hijacked. You've been molded, like clay, to tolerate being average. Since the day you were born, you were handed a blueprint. Be obedient, follow directions, be humble, be patient, work hard, and maybe someday you'll achieve something. But that promise? That's fiction. A carefully designed lie. The system was built to keep you small. They took the spark inside you and dimmed it. And the worst part? You let them. You never pushed back, never challenged the narrative, never demanded more. That's why you're here now, searching for a magic answer, a hidden key to turn everything around. But here's the truth no one wants to tell you. There is no shortcut. There is only the battle. Life is war. And at this very second, you're either climbing to dominance or sliding into defeat. So reflect on this. Will you continue to sit in passivity, endlessly consuming, waiting for someone to save you? Or will you awaken, rise up, and claim what was always meant to be yours? Because this moment right now could be the final opportunity you have to escape the cycle you were born into. And if this message doesn't hit you hard enough, trust that it will resonate deeply with someone else, and they'll run with it while you remain stuck. The reason you're behind, struggling, or lost isn't complicated. It's because you've been systematically wired to fail. From the earliest moments of your life, nearly every message you've received has nudged you toward mediocrity. The people closest to you, your teachers, your community, they all unknowingly contributed to a mindset that favors safety, compliance, and limitation. They told you to play it safe, follow the crowd, keep your head down, and wait your turn. That's why you're financially strained. That's why you lack real power. That's why the person you see in the mirror feels like a watered-down version of who you were meant to become. And that should enrage you, because deep inside you know you're capable of more. The truth is, both champions and failures are created. They're products of belief and repetition. I was raised under the same lies you were, but I refused to accept them. I wasn't born with special privileges or supernatural talent. What made the difference is that I made a decision. I decided I would never be ordinary. I chose to reprogram my mind. While others surrendered to fear and self-doubt, I built discipline, resilience, and relentless focus. I recognized that the human mind is the most powerful force in existence, but it can either be your strongest ally or your most dangerous saboteur. Unfortunately, most people allow their thoughts to ruin them. They listen to that quiet voice of insecurity, of hesitation, of fear, and it rules them. It keeps them small. But you don't have to live that way. You can take back control. You can choose to sharpen your mind into a weapon instead of a cage. You can choose to break the script that's been running your life, but that choice must be made now, not tomorrow, not after one more excuse. Now, because life will not wait for you. The world does not hand out success to the hesitant. It rewards the decisive. So what will it be? Will you let your life be dictated by old programming and limiting beliefs? Or will you rewrite your story, burn the script they gave you, and start living with intensity, direction, and unshakable purpose? The decision is yours. But make no mistake, doing nothing is still a choice, and it's the choice to lose. When you allow anxiety and uncertainty to steer your decisions, you stall, you delay action, you let time pass and then question why financial success remains elusive. You wonder why life feels like it's beating you down, but you never take a long, honest look at yourself. You avoid the mirror, never pausing to ask, what's holding me back? Why am I still living in lack? Why do I feel invisible in a world full of opportunity? Instead of confronting the truth, you quietly resign to your circumstances, chained to your limitations like a prisoner unaware the door is unlocked. You fail to realize that within you lies the ability to transform everything. You wouldn't move in a strategic game like chess without assessing the entire situation. So why do you live each day aimlessly, wandering without thought, like driftwood being carried downstream by forces you refuse to understand? Here's the truth no one will hand you. Salvation isn't coming. No miracle savior will show up one morning with a bribe. If full of money declaring you the winner of life. That fantasy doesn't exist. In this world, you're either the hunter or the hunted. Life is unapologetically harsh. And those who rise to the top are those who embrace that reality, fortify their minds, strengthen their bodies, and actively claim what they want. That's who wins, not the idle, not the timid. If you're struggling right now, living paycheck to paycheck, barely covering your bills, do you know what you have that most wealthy people have lost? Hunger. A deep, raw desire to survive. But the tragedy is that most of you never use it. You sit in your misery, adjusted to the discomfort, finding false comfort in mediocrity. Too tired, too afraid, too indifferent to dig yourself out. While you've been stalled, I took my hunger, my sense of urgency, and I built something unshakable with it. The truth? You don't lack money. You lack movement. You lack grit. You lack the guts to actually endure the necessary grind. What's missing is the inner flame, the vision, the ability to picture yourself as powerful, unstoppable, successful. Have you ever taken the time to close your eyes and truly visualize the life you want? To feel on a visceral level what it would be like to walk into a showroom and buy any car without asking for the price? To live at the top of a tower with a view of the city? To board a private jet with no itinerary but your own will? No, because deep down, you don't even think it's within reach. You've already convinced yourself you're not worthy of it, and that belief is the root of your failure. Before I ever won a title or built a fortune, I knew it would happen. I didn't daydream or hope. I decided. I made my success real in my mind before the world saw it. Every single morning, I imagined myself achieving exactly what I wanted until the world had no choice but to bend to that vision, and it worked. Ed, why do champions so often come from nothing? Because when you have no safety net, when hunger is your reality and not a metaphor, you're willing to bleed, fight, and endure anything for progress. That's what most people lack, the pain that breeds strength. You, on the other hand, have your pantry stocked, your thermostat set, your entertainment on demand. You've never truly been pushed to the edge. That's why you have no urgency. That's why someone who's gone through hell will always beat you. They need to win. You think fortune is gifted? You think success is the result of luck? Think again. I didn't stumble into wealth. I took calculated gambles, made sacrifices you'd never even consider, faced risks you're too paralyzed to confront. That's why I've elevated and why you remain stuck. Let me ask you this. When was the last time you did something bold? When was the last time you intentionally placed yourself in discomfort because you knew it would help you grow? Most can't answer that honestly because fear governs every move. You fear investing in yourself, you fear failing, you fear rejection and judgment, so you freeze. You remain motionless in a world that rewards momentum. Courage is like any other muscle. It grows only when tested. And if you've never dared greatly, it's no surprise your life looks the same year after year. The time is now. Take a bold step today. Do the thing you've been avoiding. Take action that makes your heart race. That's how growth begins. Otherwise, mark my words, in 5 years you'll be the same person, just older, angrier, and deeper in regret, repeating the same tired excuses. I have no sympathy for weakness, no admiration for those who blame instead of change. If you truly desire respect, achievement, and impact, your actions must mirror that desire. Cut off the distractions, abandon the habits and people that keep you stagnant. If your circle drains you, replace it. If your life slows on, tile weakens you, reconstruct it. If your routine kills your passion, destroy it and build anew. Your transformation starts the moment you stop tolerating less. You must construct a world around you that elevates your mindset, sharpens your focus, and propels you toward progress. Without that internal blaze, that relentless hunger to dominate in your lane, you'll be trampled by those who possess it. Understand something. If that fire doesn't burn fiercely within you, your ambition will be extinguished by those who have already lit theirs. Do you think I lose sleep over the opinions of spectators? Do you imagine I'm concerned with critics who never leave their comfort zones? While they sit back whining, crafting justifications for their inaction, drowning in doubt and distractions, I'm out there seizing every chance and converting effort into achievement. That's the separation. That's why I climb higher while others remain in place. The world doesn't hand out rewards to the hesitant. It honors the bold, the fearless, the men who reject mediocrity, who face the storm with grit and declare, I will not be tamed, I will not blend in, I will dominate. So here's the real question. Are you one of them? Or are you just another pawn, drifting through existence, aimless, powerless, and stuck in the cycle of conformity? It's on you. But hear this loud and clear. Every moment you waste, every decision you avoid, every opportunity you let pass is a decision to fail. And if you keep making that decision, you'll wake up years from now, worn down, broken, filled with regret. So rise, take command, move like a man with purpose, transform into the version of yourself that you were always capable of becoming. Because here's the hard truth. No one else will do it for you. Most people, tragically, are sleepwalking through their lives. They're on autopilot, following outdated instructions. Unaware they're stuck in a pattern designed to keep them small. You're acting like a machine running on someone else's code. A code written to keep you compliant, average, and afraid to question the script. They told you to sit in classrooms, score well, get a safe job, live quietly, and retire into obscurity. And you listened, not because you believed it, but because you didn't know there was another way. That plan is a prison disguised as a promise. It was never meant to lead to greatness. It was meant to contain you, keep you docile, keep you broke. And let me ask you, do you think the elite follow that model? Do you imagine powerful, self-made individuals waited patiently for permission? Absolutely not. They operate outside the rules. They don't wait. They take. They win because they understand how the game is played, and you don't. Like, that's the core problem. You're stuck in a competition you don't even realize you've entered. And when you fall behind, when you feel lost and defeated, you start pointing fingers. You blame chance, you blame society, you blame everything except the one person actually responsible, yourself. And until that changes, nothing else will. Here's the fundamental reality. Every setback, every missed shot, every weak moment, it's yours to own. Your life reflects the decisions you make. And until you embrace that full accountability, you'll keep treading water while others sprint ahead. Don't sit there sulking, thinking time has passed you by. It hasn't. You can overhaul your mindset. You can recondition your brain to win. But it requires effort. Real, focused, no excuse effort. You must strip away every worthless habit, eliminate every thought that makes you hesitate, and replace it all with a mindset engineered to conquer. That's what I did. I wasn't born with an edge. I developed it. Through discipline, through repetition, through choosing the hard path when comfort whispered in my ear, I built my elf brick by brick into something unshakable. Because I understood early that no one was going to show up and rescue me. That's the reality. There is no handout coming, no magical moment, no sudden twist of fate. If you want a different life, you have to rise and take it. Without apology, without delay. Stop overthinking, stop hesitating, start building momentum. Because while you're stuck in a loop of should I or shouldn't I, someone else already decided, already acted, already took the future you're dreaming of. He now lives in the house you wanted, drives the car you imagined, travels where you wish you could. Why? Because he did what you were too afraid to. I remember my own rock bottom. I had nothing. I couldn't afford to heat my apartment. I was broke, truly broke, questioning how I'd survive the next month. But instead of curling up and blaming the world, I flipped the switch. I stopped whining. I started creating a new path. One brutal, one lonely, but one that led to freedom. And that's the difference between winners and everyone else. Winners act, losers react, winners build, losers wait. You can join them if you're willing to burn the excuses, silence the doubt, and get to work. Right now. There came a point when I hit my limit. Not with the world, but with myself. I was fed up with being stuck, furious about the reality I had created and allowed to fester. That frustration became my spark. I channeled all that rage into momentum. Each sunrise didn't bring peace. It brought a hunger. A relentless drive to climb out of the pit I was in. A burning desire to break away from mediocrity. That hunger transformed me. It made me unbreakable. It made me a threat. That's the reason I'm winning today. Not because I had advantages, but because I turned my rage into purpose, while others stayed idle. Most people, they've gone soft. They've never felt real POs. Resher, they've never been cornered, never had their backs against the wall. That's why they lack the force to break through. They're too cushioned, too used to convenience. Their lives are wrapped in comfort. Stocked fridges, cozy beds, endless distractions, and all that ease has dulled their edge. Comfort is the silent assassin of ambition. On the flip side, the ones who started from zero, the ones who grew up clawing for every inch, they possess a different energy, a fire that doesn't die. They know what it means to struggle. They understand the sting of failure. And that memory becomes their fuel. It becomes their reason to grind until success is no longer a dream, but a result. So here's the real question. How much do you crave success? Are you truly ready to bleed for it? Are you prepared to outwork every person around you? Because that's the entry price. This isn't a fairy tale. There's no magic wand, no hero coming to hand you a win. It's brutal. It's raw. And only the ruthless make it. People who fold under pressure, people who expect things to be handed to them, they're left behind. If you want a different life, you have to attack your goals like it's a war. Because it is. Only the battle-hardened survive. The rest fade into the background. Let's be very clear about something. You don't have a legitimate excuse. I don't care how tough your beginnings were, how little you had, or how many times life knocked you down. You've got two choices. Drown in self-pity or stand up and start swinging. Life doesn't owe you comfort. The universe isn't concerned about fairness. It responds only to effort. And until you realize that, you'll keep spinning your wheels, going nowhere. Success doesn't come to the entitled. It comes to the relentless. And if you aren't prepared to outlast the pain, you'll never taste the reward. You want the success story, but you shy away from the sacrifice. You dream of the trophy, but you won't step into the errands. And that right there is why you keep losing. Every gain has a price. Every step forward requires grind. You either pay it or you get left behind. No one's going to hand you anything. There are no shortcuts, no cheat codes, just consistent, unwavering effort. And once that reality clicks, once you stop wishing and start working, that's when things begin to shift. That's when progress replaces excuses. And if you're sitting there thinking, I don't even know where to begin, let's not pretend you're clueless. You know exactly what needs to change. You know the habits that are holding you back. You know the distractions you need to eliminate. The issue isn't knowledge, it's courage. You haven't built the guts to confront yourself. You haven't made the choice to rise above comfort and actually do the hard things. So instead, you stall, you rationalize, and every time you do, the gap widens between you and the version of yourself you were meant to be. It's time to stop sleepwalking. Time to break the cycle. No one's coming to push you. No one's going to drag you into greatness. That job belongs to you alone. You have far more strength than you give yourself credit for, but only if you're ready to go to war for your future. Use your anger. Use your hunger. Let them become your weapons. Because someone out there is already moving, grinding, climbing, taking, while you're still wondering whether or not to begin. And when the years pass and you're stuck in the same spot, bitter and broken, you'll have no one else to blame but the face in the mirror. You want freedom? You want influence? Then earn it daily. This life doesn't hand out rewards. It demands them. So ask yourself, will you continue making excuses or will you rise up and seize what's yours? The clock is ticking. Move now or stay stuck forever.